By now, everyone knows ChatGPT can write code, but that is not new anymore. The real confusion for beginners today is different. How do we use ChatGPT without losing our coding basics? Because right now, the same tool is creating two different outcomes. Some students are becoming faster and some more confident. Others are becoming dependent and unsure. So the problem is not AI itself. The problem is the process we follow while using it. In this video, I'll show you a practical beginner safe way to use ChatGPT for coding, especially if you are a college student or just starting out. Let's talk honestly about what actually happens. This is how most beginners use ChatGPT in real life. A student opens ChatGPT and types something like write a Python program for this problem. ChatGPT gives a complete solution. And then comes the most important part: copy, paste, run. The code works, output comes, assignment is completed, and at that moment it genuinely feels like success. You feel fast, you feel productive, you feel like you are doing coding, especially when deadlines are close or when you see someone around you doing the same thing. I want to be very clear here. This is not about judging anyone. Almost every beginner does this. Even good students do this sometimes. The real issue is not that ChatGPT wrote the code. The issue is that your brain stayed passive during this entire process. No thinking, no confusion, no struggle. This habit does not hurt immediately. That's why it feels safe. The problem shows up later, during Viva, during interviews, or when a small error appears. Someone asks, "Why did you write this line?" And suddenly you don't know what to say. Or the code stops working, and instead of fixing it, you feel stuck. That's when students say, "I know coding, but I'm not confident." This fear does not come from AI, it comes from skipping the learning process earlier. ChatGPT is powerful, but it is not a teacher. A teacher knows what you understand and what you don't. ChatGPT does not know that. It simply responds to what you ask. That's why ChatGPT should be treated as a tool, not a replacement for learning. Before touching code or AI, there is one mindset you need to fix. If your only goal is to finish the task fast, ChatGPT becomes a shortcut. If your goal is to understand what's happening, it becomes an assistant. So before opening it, ask yourself, am I using this to understand, just to finish? This one question decides whether ChatGPT helps you or harms you. The correct process always starts with thinking, not coding, not ChatGPT. Thinking doesn't mean knowing everything. It simply means breaking the problem into steps. Take input, convert it to a number, add it, print the result. Notice something important here. I have not written a single line of code yet. Still, learning has already started. Most beginners skip this step, and that's why they struggle later. Now that I have thought about the problem, I'll try writing the code myself. I'm not expecting perfection. In fact, I expect mistakes. Let's go line by line. Here I'm taking input from the user. Python accepts this input as text. Same thing for the second input. And here I'm trying to add them. Then I'm trying to print them. Look at the output. Instead of adding numbers, it joins them. This is the exact moment where most beginners panic or immediately copy the correct code from ChatGPT. But this moment is actually most valuable learning moment because mistakes clearly show what you don't understand yet. Now, this is the right moment to use ChatGPT. After thinking, after trying, after seeing the mistake, notice carefully what kind of question is being asked. Instead of asking for the correct code, the question focuses on why this output is happening. The small change is very important because now ChatGPT is not replacing your thinking, it's analyzing your logic. ChatGPT explains that the input function always returns text. So, When we try to add two inputs directly, Python treats them as strings and joins them. This explanation is far more valuable than simply getting the corrected code. Once you understand why the error happened, fixing it becomes easy and the mistakes don't repeat. This is how ChatGPT should be used to explain mistakes, not to hide them. One important thing I want you to notice here is the difference between knowing the answer and understanding the reason. When ChatGPT explains why this error happened, not just fixing this one problem, it's actually teaching you a rule that applies to many future problems. Today, the mistake is about input returning text. Tomorrow, it could be about lists, loops, or conditions. But the thinking pattern remains the same. Whenever something doesn't work, instead of panicking or copying a solution, you ask, why is this happening? That question is what real programmers ask. Another important thing to understand is ChatGPT will always answer what you ask. If you ask for full code, it will give full code. If you ask for explanation, it will explain. So the quality of your learning completely depends on the quality of your question. Now that we understand why the problem happened, fixing the code becomes very simple. And this is an important point. Fixing code after understanding is very different from fixing code by guessing. First, notice something carefully. I'm not changing the logic of the program. I'm still doing the same thing, taking two input, adding them, printing the result. The only thing I'm changing is how Python understands the input. Here, by using int, I'm telling Python one clear thing. This value should be treated as a number. Until we do this, Python treats the input as text. And when the text is added, Python joins it instead of doing math. First, input takes the value from the user. Then int converts the value in integer. The same thing happens for the second input. This small change fixes the entire problem. Now the output is correct. But the most important part is not the output is correct. The most important part is what we just learned. We learned that user input comes as text. Python needs to be told the correct data type. A small data type mistake can change the entire program. This is how good developers use AI. They think first, try themselves, then use AI to improve speed. That's why they are not scared of AI. There are places where AI cannot help you. Exams, interviews, explaining your own code. In this situation, only understanding matters. If you remember one thing from this video, remember this formula. Think first, try yourself, use AI to understand. This works for any programming language. ChatGPT is not dangerous. Blind dependencies. Learn properly, and AI becomes your advantage. In the next video, I'll share a clear learning roadmap for coders in 2026. If you want clarity, not shortcuts, stay here. Let's decode things clearly.